Welcome to the second edition for 2021 of our Addington News. And Darren, as we said last week, we're going to get around the venue. Today we find ourselves in the Brecon Winning Owners Bar.
Absolutely, yeah, it's a perfect thing for a premier meeting. Of course, all of the owners, once they win their race, come in here to celebrate with the stewards of the club, and there's a wee bit of a speech made, presentation made to them, and have a drink and celebrate the win. So, good place to be for a premier meeting. We'll have a lot of winners in here on Friday night with some great fields.
Yeah, certainly will. We'll talk about that in a moment. Just on Brecons, it's a really big week for them and all of the vendors for the New Zealand Bloodstock Sale. 36 yearlings they will sell on Sunday at Karaka, and 33 of those 36 have black type in their first or second dams. So Ken and Karen Brecon have really lifted the bar in terms of their draft.
Yeah, look, they have. As Ken indicated, a lot of them are owned by themselves, and they're selling a lot of them at the sales this week. A lot of the vendors have done a tremendous job with the quality of the stock that's available and the presentation of them. We wish them all a great deal of luck for the week ahead. Should be a good sale, I think. There's a wee bit of buoyancy, as we said. The parades and the yearling sales tours at NZB have been very well received, with very large numbers in Southland, Southern Red, Southern Bred, who sponsored an entire race night just recently in Auckland, and one here at Addington, have had a really good response. That happened over just the last couple of days. So look, we're looking forward to it. We congratulate everyone on the presentation. Hopefully they have a great sale.
Touch on a few other things. Diamond Creek Farm New Zealand Derby's not too far away, and the noms close today.
Yeah, they closed today, Wednesday, and really good response so far. There was just shy of 30 of them this morning, so quality's outstanding. A lot of 3-year-olds are in the fields this Friday night for the premier meeting, so follow those horses. There's already a market open, so we thank the TAB for that, and there's actually 5 races already open today for the premier meeting on Friday night. So the TAB bookmakers really coming to the party with that, so great stuff.
All right, let's talk about the form. I want to touch on something else that'll be happening here on race nights in the future, but the form and where you go to get it, there's plenty of options. Matthew and I will be doing an extended preview for the premier meeting, so look out for that. 6 or 7 minutes, a bit more in depth than what we normally do our minute piece. So we'll get deep into those group races, over $400,000 in stake, and some cracking races even outside of those group races.
Yes, that's important. We know that form's a wee bit difficult to get now without it being in the newspapers. So as you say, Matt and yourself are going to do a piece that will be on the Addington Facebook page. That'll come out tomorrow, Thursday. There's also obviously the box set, which I know you've done an in-depth preview of the race meeting itself. But if we look at print form and what's available there, our friends at Harness Link always have a quite in-depth analysis of race meetings in the Canterbury region anyway, and the rest of the country for that matter, but certainly the Canterbury region, and that will happen again this week. So it's always a good place, harnesslink.com. Other things that are available, of course, the HRNZ site and their Facebook page, which is dedicated to punting, Be In It to Win. They always have the previews. They have selections from a commentator or another form analyst. And of course the TAB also, on the Racing Hub section of the TAB, have all of the form available there, and a variety of race books that you can print, including coloured graphics, if you like to see the coloured silks that are available. And you can either print that to screen or print it on paper so that you can have a look. So there's a lot of form available, a lot of it is online. But gee, there's some detailed stuff available if you want to.
Yeah, there is, and of course on the TAB site and on Trackside you get the whale watching. He provides you with 3 or 4 tips for most of the harness meetings here in New Zealand. When people come on course this week for the premier, you'll have something different leading into the races.
Yeah, so a wee bit of Back to the Future, a wee bit of nostalgic stuff. We want to introduce a 5 and a 2 minute tote call to remind people to go and have a bet. And we'll be using the bugle call that's quite common across a lot of race meetings and a lot of jurisdictions right around the world. So that's been recorded. Matt Cross has done a voiceover for us with that. Great time to introduce it for a premier meeting, and just lifts things a wee bit. There's clubs around the country already doing it, and galloping clubs doing it as well, and we wanted to bring it back here. We did have it a number of years ago, and it's part of the fabric of racing, if you like.
Yeah, it is.
So it's cool.
Yeah, it's definitely part of the build-up towards the race. The race is on Friday night, $150,000 New Zealand Bloodstock Harness Million. That's drawn an interesting field, particularly when the 2-year-old section winner of it, La Rosa, draws the outside of the second row.
Yeah, absolutely. There's some Hayden Cullen runners, there's some Dunn runners. Mark Jones has got a couple of runners, including La Rosa, of course. So very competitive race, and New Zealand Bloodstock right behind that as far as one of their features from those horses that were sold a couple of years ago.
Amazing Dreams come up a very short price favourite in the Group 1, of course, the Leafield Station New Zealand Breeder Stakes it is.
Yeah, new sponsor, so we welcome them in. It's a Group 1 race for our mares, very important from a breeding perspective. Amazing Dream, red hot favourite, probably wins, Greg.
$1.25.
We'll be leaving you with a video from last year's race when Piccadilly Princess was red hot favourite, and unfortunately she didn't win on this occasion, even though she's successful most
was
of
it
the
Princess
stakes.
Tiffany?
Princess Tiffany,
Yeah,
I beg
so,
your pardon.
yep. Who won the ladyship last weekend? So
Absolutely, yeah, sorry about that.
No,
Princess Tiffany.
all good.
But yeah, they don't always win, and there's a couple of horses that were in that race last year. Enchante,
Yes.
who drew badly and unfortunately has drawn badly again. And I'm All About the Base, who got home quite well for 6th last year. So have a look at that. Steve Bulkey's got a couple of runners in the race this year.
Yeah, which is great for him. And again, the southern flavour for this premier meeting, I think there's upward of 10 horses here. So that's a very, very good thing. All right, you're going to leave us with the historic for this week.
Yeah, just before we do that, obviously, spectators after the races, we'd love to see you down there. We had a good crowd last week, so extend the night, come down and have a drink after the races. $6 drinks all day, every day in spectators. And the same deals, which were really successful last week. The loose change menu, really popular. Ribs for a couple of dollars.
I can tell you, they were good.
So there was a couple of things here that were really popular. There was a bit of interest in all of them, to be honest, and the feedback of the staff was good. So that's good, that's on offer. And one other thing just before we go, 2 $25,000 quaddies. So TAB have come to the party. The early quaddie guaranteed at $25,000, the late quaddie guaranteed at $25,000, and of course there could be a carryover
from the first one.
When you look at these fields, Greg, that wouldn't be difficult at all. So what we want to leave you with is just last year's Breeders' Stakes winner, which was Wainui Creek.
Creek about to get the inside run from I'm All About the Base. Better's Heart worked upon. Wainui Creek inside. Princess Tiffany outside. She's no good thing here. Better's Heart, Wainui Creek. Wide out, Step Up, I'm All About the Base, and Kendra from last. Wainui Creek took the lead over Better's Heart. Step Up, Kendra. Wainui Creek in front over Step Up. Wainui Creek gets a Group 1. Wainui Creek.